ask you, what are the top 3 candidates that you think would be like the NFL MVP this next year?
So, I mean, I got a couple. So, one, I have to start with C.J. Stroud.
Ooh, good
Just because he had a phenomenal rookie year. And I don't think he'll have a sophomore slump like a lot of quarterbacks do. I think he will elevate his play. He got playmakers on his side, Nico Collins. And I think the team overall will improve, be more experienced. And they will fight for the Colts for the divisional. And so I think he's going to have a phenomenal year.
I think he has the potential of a phenomenal year, yeah, 100%.
See, I mean, anybody can say Patrick Mahomes, but honestly, I feel like there's vote fatigue.
Enough, I don't have in my question. I don't have Patrick Mahomes in my top 3.
There's voter fatigue. That's why he won't win it. There's voter fatigue. Obviously, he's the best player in the league, but because of voter fatigue, same with LeBron James, Michael Jordan, he's not gonna win it. Just my opinion. Justin Herbert is kind of my bold pick. You can say that about C.J. Stroud, but C.J. Stroud was in the MVP race for much of the year until like the last 4 or 5 weeks as a rookie. But I think Justin Herbert, just because I think people underestimate the kind of impact that Jim Harbaugh will have on the team. You know, you take it back, I don't know how many years ago with the Niners. The Niners weren't shit until he got there and turned them instantly into Super Bowl contenders. He will do the same thing with the Chargers.
I mean, Kyle Shanahan obviously did some big things too.
Yeah, but we're not talking about Kyle Shanahan. We're talking about Jim Harbaugh. Justin Herbert, he will be a candidate to win MVP just because of the team that will, I guess, exceed expectations because everyone's expecting them to underperform. They will exceed expectations. As a result, Justin Herbert will be an MVP candidate. And then here's my bold prediction, Anthony Richardson.
Ooh. Okay.
I don't think it's that bold. I know people want to say it's bold, but I really do think the Colts, they have at least a top 10 defense. They have a top 5 offensive line. They got weapons. They got Jonathan Taylor, Michael Pittman. They got Josh Downs. They got the rookie Andonai Mitchell. Like, they got weapons around them. In a relative,
Indy's gonna be a good team this year. I think if they come together, they jive together. I think they're gonna be a dominating team. I think they'll be a big dark horse for this season.
I think if they win over 10 games, Anthony Richardson has to be considered as an MVP unless he gets hurt. If he's healthy the whole year,
like Kyler Murray did his first year coming out.
Yeah, something like that. But if the Colts win over 10 games, Anthony Richardson does what he does and maybe does better than what he did last year when he was playing, and he was phenomenal until he got hurt.
Yeah.
There's no reason to think Anthony Richardson is not an MVP candidate, in my opinion. I know it sounds bold, but we're doing predictions, right? We're doing predictions.
Yeah.
I think, and very similar to Lamar Jackson when out of nowhere he won MVP.
He just won it last year. Yeah, he took it last year.
I think C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, big time potential in the not the AL, in the AFC South. But those are my 3 candidates there.
Man, I actually have none of those on my list.
I would hope not.
So I'll start off with someone who I respect as a player. I don't like as a person. I've had physical and personal interactions with this man over the years. Tyreek Hill, I think he comes out next year. He's obviously he was the fastest wide receiver in the NFL up until this last combine, and we've got some other guys that have shattered that now. But I think Tyreek Hill playing with the Dolphins, Tua is throwing some amazing ball. He's getting massive passes, getting massive yards, massive catches, lots of points. I think Tyreek Hill comes out as being a contender for NFL MVP for slot number 1. On the second side of that, instead of catching the ball, running the ball, I'm going to go with the Niners with Christian McCaffrey. I think him coming from Carolina, going to San Fran, he's had one of the best years of his fucking life. Like, he played amazing ball last year. Brock Purdy handing him the ball off. He was a workhorse, and he is a force to be reckoned with. And I think that Christian McCaffrey is very much a contender for that as well. And then I got to go with the team I would never, ever, ever imagine coming out of my mouth. I got to go with Jared Goff and the Lions. I think he did some shit last year that it not only surprised Detroit, but it surprised the United States. and we got a team that hasn't been talked about in 40 years, and all of a sudden they're winning NFC playoffs, NFC playoffs, NFC playoffs. They're contenders to go to the Super Bowl. They get knocked out last minute. I think Jared Goff is got a very good contention of being NFL MVP for next year.
I respect it, but I don't agree with it. Number one, Jared Goff is more of a product of his team. Granted, he's played well. He's played very well. I just feel like the numbers aren't going to be there with Jared Goff, to be quite honest.
His numbers last year were phenomenal. Top five QBs in the NFL. So his numbers were phenomenal.
They're pretty good. They're not going to be better than some other ones. And I don't believe it.
So you think C.J. Stroud has a better year than Jared Goff this year?
Oh, 100%.
Really?
100%.
All right, we'll see what
That's
happens.
not even debate. And then Christian McCaffrey, he has to have a Hall of Fame level year to even win MVP. Adrian Peterson was the last person. He ran over 2,000 yards. It's extremely hard. He can do it.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, Christian McCaffrey is probably the most likely. Jared Goff, get out of here. Tyreek Hill, no.
You
Because
think the player hate, like his numbers, you can't.
100%.
You can't touch
100%.
But when it comes to wide receiver in the NFL, his numbers.
But when was the last time a wide receiver won the MVP?
God.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can't even think.
I don't even know. There's one, but I don't even know.
It was either
I can tell you.
Deion Sanders or Jerry Rice.
Jerry Rice has never won MVP.
No, I don't think he did either.
If the best wide receiver of all time didn't win MVP, what makes me think Tyreek Hill did?
I mean,
So there you go. Christian McCaffrey, at least we have evidence. Adrian Peterson,
Adrian
one.
Peterson.
Jared Goff, no. But yeah, that's just my thoughts.
All right, man.